老师，
好了，
他那个最后一个表情，他那个嘴巴是脸，中间那几条线是连着的，还是就连着一半了？
可以连着，这个无所谓。你可以尝试把那个咧嘴生气那种里面的蓝色，你换成红色，试一下，好不好？每个颜色都有它自己的一个表情，可以去体会一下，好不好？你看墙上这个画，你看有个雪景，能看得到吧？右下角这个地方画了个雪景，它是有表情的，可以去体会一下。
老师
啊，
这个雪景的画是在哪儿画的呀？
这个雪景画在哪里不重要，哪里都有雪景，你那里会下雪，我这里也会下雪，重要的是找到你自己的感受。
Can I open the window?
It's up to you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, oh, that's pumpkin.
Spiders.
Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, so cute!
Skeleton. Oh my gosh.
Mom, can you buy me one of those?
No.
Maybe the spiders?
No. We can't offer that.
Why? It's just $5.
你今天挣了多少钱？你那些钱多的单接了吗？
钱多的单都很麻烦。
麻烦是什么意思？We can be a cowboy, asked Herbert. Yes, you can, said Herbert's father. Can be a tiger? Asked Herbert. Yes, said his father. 爸爸，你听得懂吗？
听了一点点，不过我能看图片，这里的很多图片我能看得懂。
没事，你下次英语不知道了，我可以跟你翻译。
好。
Herbert's father measured Herbert's from measure. Today at Barrier, we get flowers everywhere. Oh, look. And Pearson is a cow. Pearson always be. What shape? Just red jacket?
怎么走啊？
I don't know.
对了，今天学校怎么样过的？
Very cool, though.
啊？
Daria, play with me. Finally, Amy, though, play with them. Wow.
Good night.
My name is Thomas Burr, and I'm doing this documentary on my band Belladon. My best friend Oliver and I, we started the band, and then we brought our friend Thomas in, and we brought a bunch of other friends. And when we performed, all of us friends together, all having a good time, it was such an incredible feeling. Our first gig was in my basement. 40 people came. It felt incredible to be up there in front of people and to just be having a blast and a half while people were enjoying us playing. So at the end of summer, Thomas and Oliver, they were going to university, they were going to Victoria, and they had to leave the band, and we were a bit lost for a while. We would practice, but it wasn't really a real practice. We would just hang out and play sometimes. So Leah's boyfriend, Evan, played guitar, and I asked him to join the band. And Jake Garreau, I discovered him at Algonquin. He plays drums incredibly well, and I asked him if he wanted to be a part of it too, and we got the band back together. We wanted to play live again because it was such a good feeling in the basement, and now that we had a new guitarist and a new drummer, we knew that we could play live and we could play better than we ever have, and we practiced so much more, and we felt incredible, we sounded incredible, and we looked incredible, and we needed to show people that we needed to share what we had. So we got a gig at Live on Elgin. It was awesome. We went over there, we checked out the place. We are Belladonna, and we are going to be playing here at Live on Elgin, November 30th. When we sold out all of our online tickets, the entire band was in shock. That was 70 tickets. It was an incredible feeling. That just built up our excitement so much more. We just could not wait to play for everyone. And then when we got on there and everyone started coming in and people had such a great energy, we just played our hearts out and everyone had a damn good time.
We are Belladonna!
We always have fun and we look good doing it.
Is about funny orange cats.
When we were playing in front of people, that rush was incredible. It felt like I've never been more real than in that moment. And I crave that moment, and we will keep playing forever until we can no longer play anymore. We love it.
Thank you for coming out. We are what? Belladonna. We are what? Belladonna. That's what I like to hear.
I don't know, it made me feel like confused about like a lot of things.
Hi, I'm Aiden Nelson, director of On the Line, A Brother's Call.
I'm Jackson Smith and I was a key grip.
My name is Cam Fairburn. I'm the editor.
Hi, I'm Josh Miles and I'm the director of photography.
Nobody's life goal or mission was to end up with addictions, alcoholism, homelessness. So we just have to remember everybody's human. Kindness matters, and we have to be there to support absolutely everybody. My brother, who was living in Toronto, sent me an unfortunate end-of-life text message. I picked up the phone in Ottawa, where I live, and I called 911. I asked to be transferred to Toronto. They said they did not have the technology. I had to call Toronto Police non-emergency, where I was on hold for over an hour. My brother had a tremendous job. He was a partner at Ernst & Young. He traveled all around the world. And with the pandemic, the work from home started. The stopping of traveling happened. There was an alcohol influence in this. So to have a large bottle of alcohol delivered to your house every day and be drinking it, I'm not the only one who's experienced this with a family member. Most people, they're very surprised that calls cannot be transferred in 2024 and that people cannot text 911 because they don't have that lived experience. Our relationships, especially with the world going digital, are coast to coast. We do have friends and family all across the country, all across North America. And when I started working with the City of Ottawa to have 911 updated, which we successfully did in November of 2023, where calls can be transferred, the city thought there'd be 5 to 10 a month. I can say that in a year, there's been almost 800 call transfer requests. So I met with the small business shadow minister, who would be MP Brad Viss. He asked me what I was doing after I was no longer really focused on business because the pandemic had come to an end. I said, I'm trying to have 911 updated. He asked me to create a parliamentary petition, which in order for it to become official needs over 500 signatures. I did have over 650 signatures, and a couple weeks ago, MP Viss did present it before the House of Commons.
I rise to present a petition on behalf of Canadians who are concerned with the limitations in accessing emergency services such as 911.
After receiving 10 plus text messages from my brother, who did pass away August 25th of 2023, so last year, I've been working with all levels of government to have 911 updated by the mandated date of March 4th, 2025.
Our city is like most cities today. My name's Gerald Jorgensen. I'm founder and director of SOS Steps Off the Street. About 9 years old, I was sexually abused by a friend of the family, and that had me needing to escape my reality. And I struggled with that for 30 years. And in the end, at 48 years old, I got in a relationship with a girl that was IV drug using and using opioids, fentanyl. I saw her overdose twice, and I tried saving her. And in the end, I ended up an opioid addict.
My name is Gregory Hamilton. I am a student of Algonquin College, and I am currently taking the Film and Media Production program. I managed to reach out to Bruce McConville. We made plans to help him and his group of volunteers of Good Neighbors.
My name is Bruce McConville. We formed a year and a half ago, knowing that something can be done to solve street homelessness.
I'm Gabriel Compaore, and I'm from Burkina Faso. I get assaulted twice a year, even I'm disabled. I was reading. When first time I arrived in Montreal, I didn't see homeless like this. Here, it's worse.
Bruce, what would you say is currently the lead cause of the homeless crisis that is going on within our city?
That's a simple question to answer. It's lack of affordable housing. Our governments have failed to invest in affordable housing over the past few decades.
I was struggling already with this opioid addiction. You know, I needed that drug every day or I was sick. I've overdosed 30 times from fentanyl. I've had MRSA, cellulitis, Saturday night palsy. I couldn't use this arm for 6 months when I was here in Ottawa. I mean, I was 145 pounds. I had 3 inches of sparse beard, 6 inches of hair. I was completely filthy. I had like 4 teeth in the front of my mouth. I was, you know, most people walked out 5 feet to walk around me. Nobody talked to me. You know, I had absolutely nothing or nobody. And I know what it feels like to be out there and have nothing.
How does it feel to have so many people out here supporting what you're doing on the streets?
It's amazing, Rich. I just feel so blessed, so grateful. Just want to help people. That's all we want to do.
We earn their trust, their respect, and once we have that, we're able to help start transitioning people into social services and care that's available.
Do you believe that you will eventually get out of this shelter and you will, things will, get better?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm living tomorrow.
My name is Jamie Carrick, and I directed and produced We Live Here with the help of my crew, Chan, Jackson, Jake, Aleda, and Jillian. We hope you enjoy.
Yeah, here, this is what we're handing out.
When I say tenant, you say power. Tenant. Power. Tenant. Power. When I say tenant, you say power. Tenant. Power. Tenant.
I've always had a thing for this building. I mean, with Wallach's on the main floor, it was the art store that you go to when you're studying in your undergrad in architecture. With the whole art scene in Ottawa, this has been a bit of a staple. So when I found out that this unit was vacant, I needed to move. It was during the pandemic, and I almost begged for this apartment.
I moved here in the middle of 1981 with my friend Linda, and I've been here for, well, you did the math, over 40 years, I guess.
Say hello, Minnie. Say hello. Hi, everybody. This is Minnie. This was a little guy that I got with three more brothers. In this place, it's been like a shelter for cat.
Late August 2022, we found out that the whole block between Nepean and Lisgar, was sold to a holdings company, and that's who we should pay our rent to, and we found out after that it was Smart Living Properties.
So first came the N13s, where they said we're going to give you 3 months of rent and up to 12 months. Don't know what that means. If all of you move out by this date. We collectively decided not to do that.
I think they gave the date, the end of February 2024 was when our tenancies would end. And the reason given was demolition of the entire block.
I decided that with Eric, we would go over to 178, knock on doors, and just talk to people and say, hey, do you know that this is happening? We should start working together. I think it took us almost a year to meet all of the tenants between the two buildings. I guess it was in the springtime we decided, okay, we're going to have to start having a steady Saturday show up, and then we started having meetings on Thursdays. It was all volunteer, it was all very awkward, it was all very disorganized, and it just kind of kept going.
The numbers and the cohesiveness of our group has inspired others to notice what we're doing, to donate, and to give us a presence that we never would have had. Because whenever we have a question or an idea, we have all the rest of us to support in that.
The goal of this would be to try to make noise in the neighborhood to
tell the neighbors that this guy that's living amongst them is a massive victor.
No more rent hikes, no more greed. Housing is a human need.
No more rent hikes, no more greed. Housing is a human need.
So we knocked again, nothing. So we left a note saying, please talk to us. We need our homes. On the baby sign, left the note, and now we're here. You don't have an excuse, and the least you can do is consider us as human beings, just like yourself.
All right, do we want to form up and start moving?
Yeah.
Okay.
Formation.
So behind the purple banner.
Our neighborhood is under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Our neighborhood is under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Whose city?
Our city.
Whose home?
Our home.
Whose city?
Hi, my name's Alida McDonald. I'm the director of Not Just a Nurse, a short documentary, just a love letter to my mom. Thank you so much to my crew, Chin Siang, my DOP, Ivy Glass, my editor, and Jillian McBride, my sound and key grip. Thank you guys.
I knew I wanted to be a nurse. My dad got sick. He passed out at the dinner table. My aunt, who is a nurse, saved him. In the field that I'm in, we see our patients 3 times a day for sometimes many years.
Yes.
What I find difficult is you get to know the patients, and when they pass away, it can be quite difficult. When I started my nursing career, I moved far away from my family, so it would become lonely and looking for friends, and sometimes you get into relationships that maybe are not the best for you. So I got pregnant with someone I was in a relationship with at the time who was not a very good person. And I think I needed to make some changes in my life. I knew that I couldn't subject my daughter to the abuse that I was suffering at the time. When I went into labor with my daughter, I drove myself to the hospital. I was alone in the hospital. I had my baby alone. And I drove myself home from the hospital alone. But that was okay, because that's when I knew I had to get out of a situation that was not good for both of us, because I had someone else to take care of now, who I really love. So my daughter and I were on our own for quite a few years. It was lonely. I was more focused on my daughter and raising my daughter and going to work and providing for her. But just out of the blue, I met this guy. It just clicked. And it all worked out in the end, and we are a little family now, and I wouldn't change it for anything. I've been through a lot. I think it's made me stronger. Having my daughter made me the strongest of all. But to come out now, after 30 years of nursing, and with a daughter that I'm so proud of, and a family that I wouldn't give up for anything. And those struggles are worth it at the end. And everything that has brought me to this moment was meant to be.
Love you.
My name is Owen Hartwick, and I directed Pistol Pete. It was an absolute blast to make, and I hope you all enjoy.
And that's my life.
Carl, how are you? Good.
Hey, my name is Pedro Felix Ferrero, TER. And I worked in the Documentary species as a equipment master. Okay, here. This is a dream.
Pete was a textbook baby. He was amazing. He was born with Down syndrome, so that rocked our world a little bit. We knew beforehand, so we were well prepared for his birth.
I just put the hangers back up for the jerseys. Then I'm going to put those away in the players' day stores.
And he was a very healthy baby, and he was the best thing that ever happened to us. Love it.
Okay, so I'm new equipment master. I do the wobbles, gay weight, sticks, laundry, and I work with all the guys. Hobby. What's up? Yeah. Yeah.
You make a movie about you or what?
Yeah. They do. Yes.
Pete has always been a outgoing sort. It's a huge asset of his. You know, he's not shy to meet people. He's not shy to talk to people, etc., etc.
Hey,
buddy.
Yeah.
Thanks, brother.
Come on.
Hey, how many years you been here for now?
10. 10 years.
His co-op teacher came up to me and said, could he go work at Real Sports Apparel downtown? And I went, oh my gosh, how is he getting there? But the very first day, it was like fate. They're the co-op organizer at Real Sports. He wasn't there at the time that Peter arrived. So his boss, Glenn, said, do you want to go watch Leaf practice? So of course Pete said, sure, no problem. And so Glenn took him in and he said, okay, do not move from this seat. He came back and he was gone. He looked over and here's Brendan Shanahan and
Dave Nonis, Kyle Dubas, the whole crew.
And Pete sits kind of like he's got his leg crossed. And so Glenn went over, he said, because they're not supposed to really talk to any of these guys. And Glenn said, sorry about this. And Kyle Dubas said, oh no, leave him here. We're learning all about who should be traded and who we should get. And that was the start of it all.
My favorite part of the Leafs is working with all the players and staff every day and hanging out with all my buddies every day too. No digging. Yep, let's go. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Well, for Pete, it's a dream job. You know, it really is. And I think the other cool part of it is because there's a fraternity of parents who have kids with special needs. And Pete kind of is the representation of all those people. And it also gives all those parents an opportunity to think, someday my child might be lucky enough to have a job like Pete.
No stand too.
You keeping track of the bottles?
Yes.
You're standing like a coach.
Yeah.
You think you should do that sometimes? You think you should get behind the bench?
Maybe, yeah.
I know you
Yeah. Well, with more, of course, because it's the bestest fan I have, because the right one is there from that year, right when I come up and the group was still before me.
I've known Pete for probably about 10 years. I met him through the Toronto Maple Leafs organization, and we've been buddies ever since.
Morgan and Pete met when he was working at Real Sports Apparel. Kim, his boss, I said, so where's Pete? And she said he's with Morgan. I said, of course, I thought it was someone he worked with. And I said, Morgan, and she said, Morgan Riley. I went, oh no. She said he's inviting him to dinner.
Pete brings a lot of energy to the room. He's got a great sense of humor. He works hard. He loves being around the guys. And ultimately during games and during practices, he expects a lot out of the guys. And you know, after games when we win, you can tell he's happy, and after games when we lose, you can tell he's very disappointed. And so he's got a real passion. And you know, we're very lucky to have a person like him around.
Very easy to say Morgan has his back. Morgan's always looking out for him.
Yep. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. Yep. My dream come true with the leaves because it's my favorite job on the world because of the fun I have every day.
I'm Annie Spooner. I was born with my birthmark. And when I was a baby, everybody noticed, but they said, oh no, it's just like, you know, that happens when babies are born. They might have some patches, it'll go away. A facial difference is anything that is on your face that looks different than the norm. And it can be, you can be born with it or it can be acquired.
I mean, it was different, I think, from other children's experiences with, you know, growing up with a mother who obviously doesn't have a facial difference.
I was very aware on how people viewed my mother. It's a feeling that I never got rid of. I'm constantly wanting to protect my mother.
Like, you don't like seeing somebody that you love get mistreated.
The most traumatic part of having a facial difference for me was going through treatments. My whole birthmark was tattooed in skin-colored ink, so it didn't work. None of it worked. I was put in a straitjacket for 2 weeks so I wouldn't scratch my face and I wouldn't scar myself. I was very different than other people, and so I didn't just look different, I was different. I thought differently. There's always this sense of I'm not really fitting in.
When I was growing a little older, I started to understand that, okay, how people perceive my mother will affect the relationships that I have in the future. It's fine if people are just unaware that people look different, so they're just not used to it. But at some point, it starts to become like a pattern into my life.
I met this new friend and she came over to our house. And we left our house to go play outside, and I remember she turned to me and she said, "What disease does she have?" And I said, "She doesn't have a disease. She has a facial difference. She has birthmarks. I'm really sorry." I'm like, "Don't be sorry. She looks perfect."
I started wearing makeup when I was 8 years old. I looked really ghostly. Actually, so much so that once when I was probably around 13, I was at a roller rink and a woman came in the bathroom. She's like, "Were you playing with your mother's makeup?" I was like, oh, that was so painful. I was a singer I started singing at age 8, and then I started getting paid at around 10 to sing. In my early 20s to later, the end of my 20s, I sang as my job. I would do between 3 and 6 concerts per week.
You know, I got to grow up in a very artsy environment, and I've never been afraid to dress differently or just to be different.
When you look different, you can't hide that. I mean, I can with makeup, but even that made me look different, right? I have to live my life, so.
One of the things that I did when I was 24 is, from 8 till 24, I wore makeup. And from 12 to 24, I wore it every day of my life. So at 24, I took it off. So I went though on stage and started singing and doing, 3 to 6 shows per week, playing all the time and touring. And it was so empowering for me to finally not have to hide who I was and to stand there on my own terms.
Hi, I'm Dalen Wilcott, a film student at Algonquin College, and I'm excited to share my documentary, Love After Life, and I hope you enjoy watching it as much as I did making it.
He was dying. He was actually dying right in front of me. There was no way that this man was going to last probably 2 more weeks.
I could never repay her for everything that she did for me.
Holy shit, what did I get myself into?
All right, I'm Chris. How are you?
Chris and I met, we always say, in a hurricane, because we met when it was COVID, the fall of 2020, and I'm sitting in the restaurant and he walks in and I realize, like, holy smokes, he's very handsome and he was very nervous, and it was so cute that he was just nervous about meeting me, or felt like he was nervous. And we just sat and we talked, and I just instantly figured, like, oh wow, like, I think I just met my best friend.
She's obviously beautiful. You've seen her. She was everything that I was looking for, a small town person, nice person, easy to get to know too. We had been on a first date and felt like we'd known each other for years. So I knew, like, right from the start that there was something with this person. So, like, I felt like meant to be.
We had like a whirlwind relationship. It was like right away we were instantly friends, and we introduced the kids to each other after probably about 3 or 4 months. It was pretty quick because of COVID. So in order to be able to spend time together, the kids had to meet pretty early on also. It was really, really exciting and really fun. We were having a blast until we weren't.
So there were signs, probably signs for a year, that I just ignored. Guys always look for an excuse as to why it's okay and not look for an answer. So I just kept doing that until one time I couldn't eat, and that's a pretty important thing. I lost, I think it was 70 pounds in 35 days. So something was wrong with me, and I knew I had cancer.
They admitted him into the hospital here in Ottawa, and he was there for 8 days. And I slept in a cot beside his bed with him for 8 days. It's just hard talking about it all again, right?
I go home to see my kids, and I have to pretend that I'm going to be okay, because that's what you do as a parent. You pretend that you're going to be okay. You never really want to lie to your kids, but you have to sit there and tell them that everything's going to be okay when you can't really answer that yourself. So I'd sit there and I listen and I watch them, and Bella and Ryan were just crying. And Jackson's like, he's holding it in.
I don't think I was ever so scared in my entire life. I was looking for a second chance, and a second chance at love, and somebody that came into my life that was just so great, and then all of a sudden he's dying and there's not a thing that I can do about it. And I kept thinking, like, what if he dies? What if I have to bury him?
I was never afraid of dying. If I die, I die. The problem isn't me, it's the people that you leave behind. But I didn't think that I gave enough to them, prepared them enough for life. I didn't think that I had spent enough time with your mom, with you, and with Bella. I just wanted that. I just wanted to give you guys that. One of my philosophies is always choose happiness. You're gonna have good days, you're gonna have average days, you're gonna have bad days. Most of your days are not gonna be good, most of your days are not gonna be bad. They're gonna be average. It's up to you what you choose. You can make those average days good, or you can make those average days bad. Because just being alive, that's great. I mean, happiness could be your career, happiness could be your friends, happiness could be being with the one that makes you happy. That's Shannon for me, so it's my family for me, so. We had a conversation midway through, and I said, you can go if you want to. No hard feelings. You didn't sign up for this. Nobody signed up for this.
So I made a choice, is either I stay and I only have maybe 4 or 5 months with him, but it would probably be the best 4 or 5 months of my life, or I stay and I lose him. It'll still be the best 4 or 5 months of my life. Sorry, guys.
I don't understand it. I don't know if I'm worth that. But what she did for me is beyond love.
If I didn't lose him.
She stuck by me. I mean, she is the love of my life. There's no questions about that.
It was just obstacle after obstacle. It was just crazy looking back on how we got through that and how we're still, now we're getting married. I was like, what?
I figured you were a keeper.
I would say so.
Hi, my name is Rowan Wilson. I am the director for the Meet JJ documentary. My team has worked very hard on this documentary and I hope you enjoy.
These are my students. They're filming a documentary about me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do they know how amazing you are?
I mean, I don't like to toot my own horn, but
Yeah,
they're figuring it out.
Yeah.
So.
You know they're doing a documentary about JJ.
My name is JJ Galanders. I'm the coordinator of the film program here at Algonquin College, and I'm also a first assistant director and director in the local film industry.
I'm setting my clock, so we'll see you here.
Same time next year. Yeah, yeah. Oh, you know it, buddy.
Yeah. One department was created from close friends in the industry that were all PAs, and they all wanted to start their own company. So after 10 years of working for other people, they decided to work for themselves. The first person they called was me. I left the company I was working for and joined them and never looked back because one department was awesome. It's a good culture on set.
Hey, good looking. How are you guys? Yeah.
My job as an assistant director means I have a very close relationship with the actors. I'd like to call us glorified babysitters, but that's not really what we do.
Anything she would want to say wouldn't be appropriate.
It's such a close relationship working with actors, and I absolutely love it when you have a good, lovely actors on set. There was a time when I wanted to be in front of the camera when I was a kid, but as I grew older, I more wanted to be behind the scenes, like the directors. You know, I wanted to see what it took to make those movies and how we fool our audience. People write books and papers and articles and reviews of films and what the filmmaker was trying to want or trying to achieve. You know, it's the classic, oh, the curtains were blue for the melancholy of the character. But when in reality, sometimes the curtains are blue just because they're blue. And we think too much about what everything means when sometimes it's just practical. I wanted to work on set, so went to Algonquin for television broadcasting. There was no film program available at the time. I did 2 years there, and then through that, I did a field placement that's required until eventually I was hired on a film set, and then it just kept rolling and rolling and rolling, and I worked my way up the industry and joined the union, and it seems like 15 years ago, wasn't that long ago, but yeah. I mean, as an educator here, the whole reason I took the gig was so that I could teach the next generation of filmmakers this could be a career for you. It seemed so far-fetched when I was young, when I told people I wanted to be a director or work in the movies, and in my little town of 300, they laughed. So I find a lot of pride when I see my students working on set successfully and having careers, and doing it quickly than I ever could. I didn't start my career until I was 25, and now we've got 22-year-olds and 23-year-olds that are years surpassed me from when I started. And I think it's an incredible thing. If I can just get one producer every year to make a film, they've just employed 60 people. You know, like, that is really what it's about. It's about creating an industry and letting people pursue their passions, which I think is awesome.
Hi, my name is Naomi Runstedler, and I'm the director of the short documentary Farming Now, which I created alongside Noah Singleton, Maya Flibat-Roy, and Richmond Mella Wiseman. We hope you enjoy.
The farm has become such a business, and in order for it to survive today, the farm has to be a certain size. It has to be run like a business. It's no longer just milking a cow and giving it to the factory to make cheese out of it. It's a lot more complicated. There's been a lot of sanctions put on farms that are almost impossible to fulfill for anybody going forward in farming. And a lot of people don't want to be involved with anything that is very difficult to move forward with. That's why a lot of smaller farms can no longer operate. They can't afford to buy the quota. They can't afford to make the farm any bigger, buy more land, because everything has increased so much. This is not how it used to be.
We had a small multi-generational farm in Germany. We were already 3 generations, and for the future, it wouldn't support us all. My husband was always interested in Canada. There was a big dairy area too. I went for a walk one evening and I couldn't believe, I didn't feel like I lost anything except our family in Germany, but land-wide, especially for farming, I just thought, if you want to be a farmer, it's the right place to be.
Philip Meyer Jr. The price of equipment nowadays, it's astronomical, and then you can't find nobody to drive it. I would like to see the farm continue because we basically spent the last 40 years building it up. Everything we grow and we do in the field, it's one circle. Like, we grow it, we feed it. As a farmer, we do everything. Like, one day we're tending to a cow that's sick, and then in the afternoon we have to fix a machine that's broke. I'm also doing the accounting and the bookkeeping. Especially a dairy farmer, we do pretty well everything you can think of, Today we say tomorrow we're gonna do that, but then the weather changes or something happens, and then we do something totally different. It can change. You have to like what you're doing.
So it's going to be difficult for the next generation to farm, and they're going to have a really thick skin, and it's not getting easier. It's getting harder and harder.
Brodie League is a community of athletes on a mission to change really adult sports. You're joining 20,000 other athletes that are just like you, that aren't finished and that have a lot to prove.
I think Brodie does a good job at really giving the players what they watch on TV.
Social is absolutely everything. Our marketing department is social. When you play in Brodie, you get videos, you get mic'd up, and you share that with your friends. Of course, anyone would. You have to have a social plan or a social strategy.
I discovered Brodie through Instagram, mainly. I saw their edits. I just thought that would be a sick thing for my friends to do.
It gives me a glimpse of what real basketball is like.
They really go the extra mile for their athletes.
Consistent basketball every week. It's hard to find a gym, so that's pretty awesome with that.
I remember literally sitting exactly where I'm sitting right now on like a Wednesday. Sign up for the new season was supposed to go out on Friday, and being like, yeah, like it'll be fine. Like we'll just appeal it and it will be back up. Yeah, that wasn't the case.
The immediate response was kind of worried. Like I said, we really rely on our social media. When it went down, it caught people off guard.
The most crucial time in the season and registration, like where we do all of our registration, is those first 2.5 weeks, and it was down for the entire time.
It was tricky. It was very tricky explaining to players that your highlights aren't coming out right now. We're trying to figure out the accounts. Guys wait for those highlight videos. Guys wait for the things that they want to share.
Yeah, when you have like the taps basically turn off for like 2 weeks when you're expecting money to come in the door, it was terrifying.
Man, it hurt. Yo, I had a nice highlight, got a spin move, got an easy bucket on one of the guys. I saw it got on camera, but they never...
I guess a lot of us were worried that some of the clips will be lost forever.
I didn't get my little glory, you know, so I was hurt.
I was sitting at my desk at school. I'm a teacher. It popped up, I looked, and I looked away, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, it's back. We're back. Students were looking at me like, I was like, keep working, guys.
We're never really gonna know. There's no point in like beefing with other leagues. So we just look past it and we're like, hey, you know, like, what are we gonna do to fix this and make sure it doesn't happen again? But really what we're trying to do is just continue this wave of momentum and just like get better so that we can be here in 20 years and in 30 years and in 40 years. And like when we have kids, our kids are playing at Brodie, and like there's no reason why athletes just like deserve to like die out by the time they're 22. We're building something special here. That's how I feel about it. That's how the team feels about it. And I hope that's how the players feel about it too.
Hello, I'm Sheila Grantham. I'm the Indigenous Pedagogy and Curriculum Consultant within Learning and Teaching Services at Algonquin College. I'm Métis. My Métis side's from Manitoba. I call Ottawa home. I've been here for many years. I'm really excited about the work that I do at the college in incorporating Indigenous curriculum into the classroom and working with faculty.
So my name is Carrie Potts. I'm Indigenous Pedagogy and Curriculum Consultant in Learning and Teaching Services. So I was hired along with Sheila Grantham as one of 2 Indigenous Pedagogy and Curriculum Consultants in Learning and Teaching Services. So Learning and Teaching Services aims to support professors, support instructors, support your faculty to improve their pedagogical practices within their classroom, to support curriculum development, to support new course and program development. And those are just some of the things that we do.
It's always evolving. It's never stuck in time. You're always looking at the latest kind of literature that's out there, the latest films that are out there, and how you can inform and raise awareness to the college community about areas where they should be discussing and activities that they should engage in. I really love being a curriculum consultant because you never know what to expect day after day, so it's always very exciting.
There's always that part of me that always was drawn to understanding more about what it meant to be Temiagama Anishinaabe, or people of the deep water from Temagami, Ontario, without having lived in the community myself. And as I got older, I got more connected to the urban Indigenous community in Toronto specifically. I worked here as well in the urban Indigenous community. And when I moved to Toronto, I worked in the film industry for a little while, doing craft services, and then worked in the social work and then the Indigenous arts sector. Us at reconciliation is like turning a big, big ship with a little rudder on the back. And it's gonna move slowly and start to turn. And we won't notice that we've gotten there until the ship has turned and we're facing in completely another direction. So this work is slow. We won't always see the progress of it, but we need to commit to continuing to do it in good ways and doing it together.
If you're not careful, it takes over your life. That's the way I feel. I decided to continue working out again when I realized that it was impacting my state of mind. Weightlifting makes me feel powerful, makes me feel strong. Being able to do those weights makes me feel like I can do anything else. It changed my life a lot. When I got with Roger, he was very fit, still is. I really wanted to be able to feel the way he felt. So I started to try different things and work out more often, and I really enjoyed it.
It's very satisfying personally to see that you can help somebody progress. She enjoyed working out, she enjoyed how she felt.
I was diagnosed with tinnitus. After that, you could potentially start what they call Meniere's disease, and it creates vertigo. When the trigger happens, the whole room spins. You can't control anything.
There was a lot of sadness and anxiety associated to the episodes that she experiences.
He never leaves me alone when I'm sick. That means a lot to me. I wouldn't be able to go through this without him.
I knew that the working out concept could still be utilized to help her stay healthy. Over the past few years, she's had fewer and fewer episodes. I firmly believe that it's the lifting lifestyle that's helped her progress.
Exercise actually helps the Meniere, but not high intensity. So you just have to find that balance. I started light. I started doing 8s. Now I've slowly gone up higher.
We enjoyed motivating each other. We liked setting goals with each other. It's also satisfying to see her progress as well. Her providing you with the feedback that she feels inspired to continue.
Our daughter made a comment to me, "I saw you lift 20s the other day." It made me feel good. It made me feel good. I was proud of myself. But I'm lucky that I had a husband that is amazingly supportive, kids that are very understanding, and me.
How do we move on without Daddy? You know?
We just keep doing
what we're doing.
I met him at a club that we formed in Belleville for single people between the ages of 18 and 29. And that's where I met him, there. It was just a club for dancing and snacking and stuff like that. We got along like we'd always had known each other for years. It was all very, very natural. Yeah, well, when we were married in 68, so we had planned to have a baby in 70 and 72. Jennifer came along in July of 71. Your granddad was so excited to see his little girl. Susan was born October 26th. And I kept telling Susie, Mommy's going to have a baby for you on your birthday. Never thinking I was really going to happen, you know.
Because I born that way, and I'm a Down syndrome girl. I can't help myself.
The doctor at the hospital, when he told us about her, told us that a lot of people, they'll drop their marriage and leave. They won't last. but it wasn't like that. And I think it was not like that because of the two, Jennifer and Susan, because they were right there all the time to help, to do, you know, to do stuff with her. They offered me an abortion, and I said no. She's, you know, she was conceived with love, and that's the way she would be loved.
My dad's my best friend forever because he like to have fun with me, and he liked to play games with me, and after that, he's barking me. I don't know why he's doing that. And she's doing it to him. I hate that. But Daddy's fine, and I'm still an awful lot.
He'd be on the floor with these kids, and they'd be, you know, they'd be on his back, or he'd be holding on his back, and he'd hold them up on his feet. And I mean, it was just wonderful. And when Diane came along, he was equally as wonderful. He would have her up on his feet, doing the same thing, and they'd be all there waiting in line to take their turn with Daddy. He was there constantly for them. He's always been there for them.
And like you got to spend like so much good time with Dad, eh, Diane? Like going to skating and then having him help you, and then coming home after and having some coffee and.
Yes. When she had her operation,
yeah,
it wasn't me she wanted in the room. It was Daddy.
Yeah, it's always Daddy.
Always
really.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do we move on without Daddy? You know?
We just keep doing
what we're doing.
Yeah.
Good. I still miss him. I don't want to think about it. I still think about him. I'm trying to get my mind off that right now.
Okay.
Because if we don't say that, it makes me awful.
I know. We all miss Daddy.
I don't want to cry.
Introduce yourself, say your name, can you spell it out as well?
My whole name, or?
Your name, yeah, your full name, spell it out.
The Joyce Ann Klein?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. My name is Joyce Klein. I'm an 81-year-old grandmother. I have 2 wonderful grandchildren. I have no experiences around cannabis. Have I ever smelled it? I don't know, because I wouldn't know what I was smelling. What products am I aware of? What do you call it, weed? That's all I know. Well, I might expect at the dispensary. I'm imagining it or thinking it would be like a pharmacy. Yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah, so I'm open to anything. You know that.
So I'm off to the weed store, Jim.
What?
I'm off to the weed. Okay, I'll see you later.
I thought Grandma was gonna like this. Oh, this is exciting. Come on.
First ever dispensary visit.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Here we are. This is awesome. So what do we have to do now?
Talk about the experience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just talking. Okay. I got some cream for your shoulders.
Yeah.
The lady in the store, she told me all about it. And so maybe that'll work, okay?
Yeah.
What was that like for your first dispensary visit?
It was unbelievable to me. I couldn't believe it. I was expecting a little dingy room, but it was so bright and so high ceiling. I've never seen such a high ceiling. It was so clean. I bought some cream for my husband's shoulder. He's got a bad shoulder and nothing seems to work. So we're going to try the cream and rub it in and see if that works. And if it does, that'll be awesome. Did I learn anything? What I learned was that it's a very relaxing, easy place to go. You don't feel like you're being something you shouldn't be doing, or it's kind of secret. Relaxing. That's the best word.
Do I get credit?
Yeah. You're 100% getting credit, Grandma. Oh my God, of course. Oh my gosh.
Am I not the luckiest person in the world?